Hey cuties, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. I'm so glad you're here. Today I want to talk about my plan for continued weight loss for the year of 2020, and we're going to start with the month of January. So I hope you stay tuned, and also I hope you watch till the end because I'm going to share my kind of weigh-in to start with for January, so stick around. Okay, I'm just gonna get right into it. I hope everybody had a great New Year's. Mine was fun. We kind of went to a party in our community and we did a little karaoke. Although I didn't get up there, I was at my seat singing along and dancing. So we did have a great time. But now it's back to reality, back to my weight loss goals for the year. And kind of what I'm changing up in January, what I'm keeping the same. So if that's for you, I hope you watch this video. Okay, I apologize. I'm going to be looking down a lot. I took notes so I don't miss anything. So let's start with the eating. That, of course, is the biggest thing. As we know, any of us who've lost weight, you know, it's mostly about the eating and the food that you choose and calories and all of that stuff. So I am going to tell you what I'm doing. Okay, so as you might know, I am in a calorie deficit, and I figured that out based on my weight, age, and height. And I think I linked, actually, I know I linked in a couple of my videos in the beginning of when I started, how you can figure out your calorie deficit if you're interested. I'm going to look for one and I'll link it below in this video also, so you can quickly just go to it. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm counting calories. I am still using my FitnessPal. I really like the app. My husband bought me I guess it's their premium package or whatever their word for it is. It's very, very similar to the WW app, and you can scan foods and things like that. And it breaks down all the nutrients for you. So if you're interested in knowing what your fiber intake is and your carbs and protein and all of that, in addition to calories, it's all there for you. So I really like it. I actually track my weight on that also. There's a little section, just like in WW, that you can add your weight and your measurements and whatever else you want to add. Okay, so besides staying in a calorie deficit, I am going to try a little something different. Again, if you saw when I started that plan, I also went low carb. So I calculated net carbs, or I counted net carbs. And I tried to stay pretty low, but definitely under 100 net carbs, which is still pretty high in carbs, but I still managed to lose 40 pounds. So it definitely worked for me, but I wanted to kind of experiment this time around and use total carbs and stay either under or at 100 total carbs per day. I'm going to try it for a week or two and see kind of if it makes any difference. Certainly I've learned at this time in my life, I am not losing, 8 pounds my first week and 5 pounds every week. Even 2 pounds is a struggle sometimes, but I just stay consistent, and that's how I got to the 40 pounds. So I'm really very happy with that, even though it's a different way of losing. When I was in my 30s, even my 40s, again, I could lose on Weight Watchers like 8 pounds the first week, and it's so exciting. And we all know that's a combination of water weight and a little more restriction than what I'm willing to do right now as far as calories. So let's just address that, actually. I am eating 1,500 calories a day. Now, for some people, that might seem crazy. I just feel like that's a healthy restriction. I don't want to restrict my calories so low that I binge, because that's kind of what was happening with Weight Watchers on and off. I mean, it worked. I lost 51 pounds at one point, and I actually maintained it for a couple of years. So certainly it worked, but I had to really kind of be very disciplined, I'll say. And not that I'm not now, but I just kind of want to enjoy myself a little more, I guess, and not get so restrictive that, you know, by Friday, I want to just binge everything under the sun, which did happen a lot. Now, granted, that's probably also, besides my age, part of why I don't lose the big numbers. But I feel like the slower I lose, as with most people, I think, or most women, I keep it off a little bit easier. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. I'm not changing much else as far as that goes. I mean, I'm still drinking my water. I do lemon water in the morning. I'm still doing that. And I think I addressed this in a couple of videos, but I don't know if that does anything except hydrate me first thing in the morning. I do it on an empty stomach. It's before my breakfast, my coffee, whatever else I'm having. So if anything, it gets me a glass of water first thing in the morning. And I'm usually pretty thirsty because my throat gets dry. My throat gets dry all the time, especially in the winter. And you'll see, if you watched any of my videos, I cough a lot when I'm talking because my throat gets so dry. I actually put a cough drop in, so my throat is nice and moisturized right now, so I should be good. But yeah, so I'll still do that. And let's just go to the next thing. I'm continuing my meditation. I do want to expand it a little. I want to make it a little bit longer. I usually stick to about 10, 12 minutes. I want to go a little longer. And my husband actually gave me headphones that go over your ears, so they're noise canceling. And boy, does that make a difference when you're meditating. It really, of course, leaves out all the environmental noise that you might hear, even if it's the littlest things. But it really helps you kind of concentrate a little bit more on your meditation. So I'm excited about that. It's kind of something new. I tried it this morning, actually, was the first morning. I did one of my usual ones that I do. I just wanted to see the difference, and it definitely makes a difference. So I'm looking to expand the amount of minutes I'm doing with that. And the meditations that I do, I choose different ones. I go on YouTube and I really just search for guided meditation for weight loss. And there's plenty out there. You kind of just have to choose the one that you feel works for you. I'm not so good at the visualization. That's a hard word, but I'm trying. I'm really, really trying. I like more of where you're reciting things maybe, or just listening. Those are my favorites. So I'm going to probably stick with that for a little while and maybe look into the the visualization ones, so I can get a little bit better at it. Okay, now on to the working out. It's become one of my favorite parts, actually. Beginning in May, I actually started taking my strength training very, very seriously. It wasn't apparent to me right away that I should be doing that. And over the years, as I mentioned in previous videos, I kind of just would do stuff, not really knowing what I was doing. And not that I was going to hurt myself, but I didn't know what each thing was doing for me. I didn't make any progress. So I totally took it very, very seriously at this point. I've been doing that. I work out 3 times a week with my strength training, but I'm also doing HIIT training, yoga, and I walk once or twice a week outside. So I am going to continue with those things, but I am making a few changes / additions to my weight training. So I'm going to be adding stairs. It sounds so common or silly, but I find even though I've been working out pretty consistently, or very consistently, I should say, going upstairs is still like a challenge. I'm not where I can't do it, and I'm not so winded I can't like talk or anything, but I want to improve that. It's really bothering me, especially if I'm bringing laundry basket up and down the stairs. It's like crazy. It's like lifting weights. So I'm working on that. And what I'm trying to do, and maybe this is not the right way to approach it, but this is the way I'm going to do it. What I did was I started Monday, actually. I'm filming this on Wednesday, by the way. So Monday morning, I went up and down my stairs in my basement. That's where I work out. and I did it for as long as I could. This morning I did the same thing. Friday I'll do the same thing, and I'll just keep increasing that. I want to get to where I don't have to hold on to the banister, which I do now, but I have to go a little slow. I don't want to lose my balance, and I'm really just working on that ability to go up and down without holding on and being able to carry that laundry up and down and not, be a little bit out of breath. So that's kind of an addition to my workout. Also, I already do stretches every time I work out, every time I do my strength training, but I wanted to add a few different ones. And I found something called the butterfly stretch, which I didn't realize, to me anyway, it's very similar to something I do in yoga. And it's where you actually sit kind of Indian style, except your feet are together, kind of touching each other, and it opens up your hips. And my hips are very tight. That's one of my problem areas. So I am working on doing that as part of my stretching routine after my weight training. And I also added a few different moves and took some away that I didn't feel like were working for me exactly. I'm going to insert a little snapshot of a sample of I think I included my Wednesday workout. So yeah, and you'll see I also increased the weights. So I started at a very low weight in May. I started at 5. I didn't want to hurt myself. Like I mentioned, I kind of have a little shoulder thing, not an injury or anything. It just gets a little sore, and I don't want to make it worse. So I'm just being very, very careful. So I started with 5 pounds, and I progressed all the way up to 10 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I went 5, 8, and 10. So for the new year, I'm ready to move on to 15. And let me tell you, I did it 2 days. Whoa, what a difference 5 pound makes. Again, I'm still being very careful. I'm using proper form. I'm going slow. I'm not going crazy. Especially when I have to lift over my head. I still want that strength because maybe that will strengthen my shoulder, but I don't want any injuries. So I take it very slow. Now, all of these things for people who have been doing it longer than me, are younger, or maybe don't have any issues with their shoulders or neck, might seem kind of slow, I guess. But I'd rather do it slowly, make progress, but don't rush it and hurt myself, or try to do heavier weights and wind up kind of hurting myself, and then I'm really in trouble at this point. And also, I don't want to go too heavy. I want to still have the correct form, hoping to not injure myself, or making sure I don't injure myself, I guess you could say. So that's what I'm doing as far as the strength training. And also, as I mentioned, I do HIIT training twice a week. So on Mondays and Fridays, after my strength training, I do a HIIT workout. I've been kind of staying around, I'm going to say at the most I think I do is 20 minutes, 15. I kind of change it up a little bit. As I also mentioned, I do Grow with Jo, which I love her videos, and Leslie Sansone I've been doing for years. Still love them, still my favorite. But I want to expand those a little bit and try to do a little bit longer, maybe into the 20, 25, 30 minute mark. Just to kind of make progress. HIIT training, I think, is really good. It's high intense interval training. I think that's what it is. But basically you're kind of doing, let's say, 5 seconds of a certain move, a walk or a march. And then for 10 seconds, you're kind of jogging in place, things like that. And they both do it in different ways, but they're a lot of fun. I like them. So I will try to link each of those down below, or I'll at least kind of spell it out in the description so you know what I'm talking about. And you can go on YouTube and do it for free. That's what I usually do. Even though they're commercials, it's okay. You kind of just skip over it. I know on Grow with Jo, she's my warm-up also before I start strength training. And that's just usually 10, 12 minutes. If you do a 10-minute one, there's usually no commercial interruption, but you get any longer than that and you usually get a little bit of an interruption, but it's okay. Okay, and lastly, I am following a skincare routine, a new skincare routine. I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I know when I turned 50, especially, my skin just changed so much. Growing up, I had, I guess you could say, normal skin. I actually never got pimples. I never had oily skin, and I know I was very lucky. But as time went on, my skin became dry. And when I turned 50, it was like the minute I turned 50, I have a lot more redness, which is probably rosacea. It kind of runs in my family. Even my grandpa had it, and my mom has it. And, you know, that's fine. I kind of control it a little bit by not using any harsh things on my face to make it worse. But also, I've noticed some dry patches in certain areas, like itchy dry. There was at one point where I actually had to go to the doctor, and she actually told me that I have like a form of, oh gee, what did they call that for babies? Ah, cradle cradle cap, I think it's called. Similar, but it was all up here above my eyebrows and kind of on my eyelids. Ooh, that was really, really painful. It was itchy and it just looked horrible. So I've since thankfully remedied that, but I still get redness. My eyelids still get dry, and I finally found an eye cream that I like that isn't too harsh on my skin. So I've been using that for probably about 2 weeks, and it's really making a difference. So I continue to do that. But otherwise, I don't have much of a skincare routine that I'm consistent with. I always use moisturizer and sunscreen. I'm probably a little late to the game on the sunscreen. I've always used it, but not consistently, like every day. And I know even though you're inside, or if you're outside but you're not directly in the sun, you really need to protect your skin. Especially, as you can see, I'm very pale. I'm very sensitive to the sun. So it's my goal. I did a lot of research to find out the best products to use on my sensitive skin, and what to do each day and night. Ooh, that's a lot. I've been doing it for 2 days. Today was day 3. And I just want to be consistent with it. And I want to give it, a month or so and see the differences, and make sure I'm not getting any irritation, because I did see a little redness around here last night when I tried one of the products. So it's a product that I'm not 100% sure it's really for me. So that might be something I'll have to eliminate, but I'm going to look out for it. I don't know if you can even see it on camera, but I just have to be really careful, like I said, because my skin is so sensitive. And, you got to start moisturizing or continue to moisturize your neck area and this area. So yeah, that's a little bit of a goal that's not part of my weight loss, but it's definitely for my health and my well-being, how I feel about myself. So yeah. So those are the things I'm changing this year. And I would love to hear what you guys are doing if you're starting out your weight loss journey, your fitness journey, whatever you might be doing. I want to hear all about it. I think we can really support each other. This definitely helps me just talking to you guys. So I want to hear some feedback as to what you're doing, how you're doing if you're already doing it, if you're just starting out, on a kind of New Year's resolution, whatever it is, let me know. Comment below. I would love to hear about that. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to just tell you, I did weigh in on, I'm losing track, Monday, Monday morning. I weighed in, and I weighed exactly the same as I did when I came back from vacation in October. And I shared with you guys that I was actually very happy about that. And I can't believe just over the last couple of months, and no, I didn't lose, but I'm still happy. I stayed exactly the same. I had gained 1.8 over vacation. We went to Santa Fe, and I'll link that video in the description if you didn't see it already. And I stayed exactly the same. And I know for some people you're going, oh my God, 2 months and you didn't lose anything. But the reason I'm so happy is old me, old Cindy, even on a weight loss journey, would have taken, the 2 weeks from, or whatever it turns out to be, 2 or 3 weeks, from Christmas to New Year's, to just eat it all, have it all, every single day. I'd have to get rid of all the junk food in my house, and I felt the need to do that. This year, I really just let myself have things, but on the days we weren't entertaining or I wasn't going out, I was eating the right foods in my calorie deficit. I still worked out. I did give myself one day off for Christmas. And yeah, I mean, that to me was the most important thing. In previous years, I would have been really discouraged because I would have definitely gained weight. Even in those 2 weeks, but also over the 2 months from vacation to New Year's, I probably would have just kind of gone off the wagon completely. And I was so proud of myself that I didn't do that this year. I felt more in control, and it feels good to start off the new year with nothing gained, kind of no weight gained, so I can start from the same point I was, and I don't have to backtrack and try to lose, 5 more pounds to bring me back to where I was. So I am very happy about that. Let me know what you guys think about that, how you feel. I know the goal is to definitely lose weight, but for me, this really kind of excited me. It made me feel good that I could find a way to have balance. As I said, not losing weight, but maintaining for 2 months so I can start at the same point. So if that all makes sense, I hope it does. And one last point, I just wanted to mention that I did a video back in early December, and I talked about 5 habits that I was going to still do from Christmas to New Year's during the holiday season. And I'll link that video below. Go back and watch it and just see what I talked about. And I'm going to just kind of go through quickly if I've kind of kept up with this. So number 1, I said continue to work out, which I did, check. Still count calories, especially my carbs and protein, check. Now on Christmas, the day after Christmas, probably Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, I kind of took those days off, but I didn't go crazy. And part of it too, I have to TMI, I have a weak stomach a little bit, I think. So if I go too crazy, I get sick, and it's just not worth it to me anymore. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't seem to have kind of a weak stomach as far as getting sick so easily, but I'm sorry, but vomiting is just, it's awful. It's so awful. So that was really always in the back of my mind when I wanted to kind of overdo it. So that's part of what helped me kind of not go too crazy, especially with alcohol. I love a cocktail. I love wine. I love the champagne, but if I overdo it and then have the food that I'm not used to, the greasy food, it's just a bad combination. And it seems to hit me sometimes before I go to bed. So I just didn't want to experience it this year, and thankfully I didn't. So let's see, what else? Drink lemon water. I did continue to do that. I think I missed a day or two, like I said, probably Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve maybe. Yeah. I continue to meditate every day. One thing I did not do, which I wish I had done, but it just wasn't in the cards, I didn't practice yoga. So I haven't done the yoga probably in a month, but I'm getting back to it. Actually, today is my yoga day. I'm probably going to stick to the chair yoga today just to kind of get myself back into it. I don't really know why I stopped. I think it was a schedule thing, because normally, like the HIIT training, I do right after, I'm still in my workout clothes, right after my strength training. The yoga, I usually wait until the evening before I have dinner. And it just wasn't quite working out with the scheduling of cooking dinner and things like that. Yes, just an excuse. I could have worked it out, and I'm going to work on that today. So let's just talk about what I wasn't going to do. I wasn't going to miss a workout, which I did. I tried not to drink too many extra calories. I always find that I'm surprised at these cocktails and how many calories and sugar it has. So I think I had maybe 2 drinks. I know for New Year's Eve, I had made, and actually it wound up being a healthy one. I used the Crystal Light lemonade and added just some rum to it. And that's all I had all night. And a sip of champagne. Again, I didn't want to mix the two. I didn't want to get sick from it. I don't remember if I had anything on Christmas. I don't think I did actually. So the 1 drink, but yeah, just a choice because of, the potential to get sick and also not all those extra calories. The biggest thing I mentioned in this video was I didn't want to feel guilty when I did splurge. For me, guilt was always there. It was always that beating myself up for, having the cheese board or whatever it might have been, whatever yummy food my husband was usually the one preparing. I didn't want to feel guilty about it. And even if the next day, if I had, French toast for breakfast, even though I should have gotten back on, I wanted no guilt. And I had to struggle with that every day that I kind of went off track, not to feel guilty about it. And I guess it kind of did something because I was able to maintain and still, track my food on the days when we didn't have anything going on. So that was a really big deal for me too. And I didn't over restrict. So I didn't slash my calories because I knew I was going to have a really big dinner or dessert. That's another habit I used to have. And I think that can really mess with you because I think it's hard to kind of get back on track the next day. You're like so hungry and you really overindulge and maybe make yourself sick and you kind of feel guilty. And it's like just a cycle of that kind of behavior. So I didn't do that either. And also, after an indulgent meal, I didn't get on the scale. I actually did not get on the scale so when I came back from vacation, I checked my weight, and it was 1 weight. I had gained 0.8. The next 2 months, I didn't weigh in. I just felt like it was going to mess with me. If I had gained a little bit here and there, whatever it might have been, if I stayed the same, I think it would have really messed with me. So I just chose to, not do that. Now, for some of you, you may feel like you had to kind of check your progress. Just for me personally, I think it would have really played with my mind. So I stayed off the scale until Monday morning, just as a reference to where I was starting. And it worked for me this time around. So I think that was it though. Those were all my points. So again, I'm going to link this video. It aired on the 7th of December. So I'll put it in the description so you can check it out. And I wonder what you guys are doing or what did you do during the holidays? I would also love to know what some of you are doing, if you're doing anything in January for your health goals. Okay, so that'll do it. I hope you really like this video. I hope you got something from it. And I really would love to hear what you guys think and your opinions and how you're doing. So comment below, like I said, and have a great day. Stay motivated and we'll support each other. It'll be fun. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video and have a great night, everyone.